Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
This is a hardcore grind interview with the dynamic author, actor, director, and producer, Shaun Sinclair. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, thank you for having me. What's going on?
Nothing, everything. We doing Shaun Sinclair right about now. You know, I know how dynamic you are as far as just a creator. But a black man who can write and express himself is very powerful. What does that power mean for you?
Oh, that's a great question. In a nutshell, it means responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. So it means responsibility above all. And by that I mean having a responsibility, number one, tell true stories of what the black man experience is, and black man and woman all together, and people. But I'm a black man first. And the way that America has us juxtaposed is that we have to be able to make a distinction between us and everyone else, unfortunately. So my responsibility is to utilize that justification in a positive manner.
I love you. I love it. Now, what intrigues you the most about writing and storytelling?
The ability to be able to tell our stories, because a lot of times in this culture, our real stories aren't brought to the forefront. You know, they have a lot of black stories that are written by people other than the people they're talking about. And so it has an unrealistic viewpoint or unrealistic, slant on it, I should say. Mm-hmm. So for me, when I'm writing, I'm trying to be authentic to, one, the era in which we live, and authentic to ourselves.
Absolutely. Now, as an author, what writers have influenced you the most and why?
Ooh, great question. You're coming with them tonight. Number one, I would say it's been a multitude. Growing up, I've always been a bookworm. As you know, we hear my story a lot of times. I've always been a bookworm, so I've always read the greats like Sidney Sheldon, Dean Koontz, Stephen King, Danielle Steele back in the day. But what inspired me to actually put my pen to the pad was Sister Soldier, Terry Woods, Eric Jerome Dickey for sure has been a huge inspiration to my literary career. And Omar Tyree, all of those who came before me, Allison D. Banks, and quite frankly, I still get inspiration from my contemporaries right now. So Donald Goins, without a shadow of a doubt, I guess he would be one of the biggest inspirations to me to start writing, because he was one of the first people I knew that was really from the streets like myself and told our story unapologetically. So he's definitely my biggest inspiration.
I love it. Now, you just appeared in your first, and I'm not going to say that was your first because I know you've done it a while, but I want to talk about your first appearance as an actor. Talk a little bit about that experience, being in that play, preparing for that role. What was that moment like for you?
So it's crazy because I just acted in a play. I played Isaac Hayes. That was my first time doing a stage play. But, of course, I acted in the film The Setup, and I acted in one called Fractured that I'm a producer on that comes out next month. But let's just address the stage play first. I like that experience because, I have a background with doing music. I used to be a rapper, right? And when you're performing on a stage, there is like a feeling like no other, right? There's nothing that you can quantify it to whenever the crowd is loving what you're doing and you're feeding up the energy of the crowd and whatnot. And once I put the mic down and moved on to different things, I've always been looking for something that can give me that same type of feel. And nothing has been able to come close to it until now. When we did the stage play of The Rain, I played Ivy Hayes. I like it because like stage play acting is so different than movie acting, because the stage play acting, you have to get it right. You only got one shot. So the pressure of that is so fun. I'm a kind of person I like to live under pressure a lot. I excel under pressure. So just being able to have that type of experience on the stage and then have your castmates to have your back, and it's just a whole different experience like no other. The camaraderie, the family, everything that goes along with stage play. I love it. And we're bringing it back again in January, too, it looks like.
Listen, I love it. Now, listen, I'm going to that one because I don't work on the weekends, so I can come. I know. I got you. Now,
don't worry, I can't see you on stage.
That's no excuse. That's no excuse.
Right.
There's no excuse. You always support me, so I gotta do the same for you. Now, Pen Multimedia, talk a little bit about that.
Pen Multimedia, that's my baby, right? That's my parent company. I have a few. I have Pen Films, Pen Publishing, but they're all under the Pen Multimedia umbrella. And we founded that company to do books, movie, and music initially, right? And it's so funny because when I first started the company, that was always, even though I started it to put my books out initially, that was always the vision for it to go to what I'm doing right now with the film and everything else. So it's just a maturation process of the whole company, right? Of course, I put out, as a company, we've published well over 100 books at this point, like 120 books for other authors, not including the 18 that I've put out myself. So we kind of put our foot in that space. And then, of course, a couple of years ago, we jumped into the film. But we dabbled into the film a lot with the first film, with the setup and the documentary and some other films. But right now, I'm kind of shifting the focus primarily on the film and the soundtracks that come behind the film. So everything has come full circle. I started the company as a book, film, and music company. And I took a lot of time building it from the book standpoint. But right now, for the next year or two, or 10, give or take, I'm really shifting the focus on those movies. So the same thing we did in the film space, in the book space, we're about to do in the film space. And I'm still going to have books as well. So not to be too long-winded, but my original vision was to have a movie component to every book I put out. And so we're going to do the same thing. So every movie that we have, we're going to drop the book. Like I have the setup book coming later on this year. We just wrapped on Sex Mogul. I don't want to get ahead of you. But as you know, Sex Mogul is based on one of the books, a series novel I was doing. So by the time the movie's released, the book should be done as well. You can have both. So Pen Multimedia, that's my baby.
I love it. Now, African American authors have pioneered the literary community for a long time, many years. How does that feel to be part of the elite?
I don't like to look at the score when I'm still playing the game. So I don't really try to look at myself like that because I don't want to get lazy. You know what I'm saying? I still have a lot more work to do. So I appreciate it, but I don't want to I don't want to inventory that just yet because I don't want to get lazy. There's still so much more I can and will do. So as long as I'm still in the game, I don't like to look at the scoreboard.
Okay. Shoot. Your stuff ain't nothing wrong with it. Now, out of all of the books you have written, what is your favorite character that you created?
Oh, my favorite character is Menelik from the Skin Deep series. And it's crazy because that's my least selling book, but that's my favorite story, and my favorite character is Menelik. Because he was the first character that I created that was strictly for my imagination. Like all my other characters, like Quest, my street rap series, he was loosely based on me. I have muses for all of my characters, but Menelik wasn't original. You remember Skin Deep has the twins, Menelik and Haley. And we just dropped the audio book to that, by the way. So Skin Deep 1, 2, and Skin Deep 3. We just dropped the audio book to Skin Deep 3. So all three versions of those books are out right now, audio book. And I'll be dropping the third version of the actual book within the next few weeks. But that's my favorite character by far, Menelik.
I love it. I love it. Now, budding authors sometimes face many challenges that can be overwhelming and sometimes complex due to not understanding the business side of books. What advice do you have for any aspiring authors?
Oh, great questions. One, I would advise them to know that there's a book. It's called the book business. So once you finish writing your book, it's business. So you have to make sure your business is in order. And number one, stop listening to everybody who haven't done what you've done or what you're trying to do. That's one thing. I hear a lot of authors, structure says, my auntie said this, my uncle said this, my brother said this, who's never done anything. But I guess that's a little caveat. The main thing is make sure that you focus on your book first. Write the best book that you can put out first, and then worry about the book business. So you want to transition your mind from the books to the book business.
I love it. Now, being that you are in the literary world, you are signed to Kensington, you are also self-published. If you could change anything about the literary industry, knowing both sides of the coin, what would you change?
I would change the disparity between mainstream, read, white authors and African-American authors, because even though I'm signed to the major, we don't get the same type of money that the mainstream authors get. Read, white, when I say mainstream, by the way. And it's unfortunate. Our advances aren't the same as theirs. The push that we get aren't the same as theirs. It's just a different kind of situation. So I would definitely change that. I would change the royalty structure to where it can be beneficial to be signed to the major. I mean, quite frankly, I still owe them one more book, so I can't get too hard into it. But it's just, like I said earlier, the business. Just understanding the business aspect. I think right now it's more profitable to be independent as long as you don't mind doing the work. But I would change why that is so. And the reality is that a lot of the majors don't support a lot of African-American authors like they support our white counterparts. And that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Now, one could say it's because the black community don't support black authors like the white community do. But I know that's not true because I get a lot of support. But I would change that. I would change that payment structure as a whole. And it's coming. We just got to demand it.
I love it. Now, I want to ask this question about AI. You know, AI has everybody panties and underwear in a bunch right now, as it should. What are your thoughts about AI and in the literary world?
I have a few. Number one, it's crazy, right? Because someone just hit me the other day. There's a site where someone downloaded one of my books. Well, someone accessed one of my books, right? And when they accessed it, they try to get AI to write a book based on me and my vernacular that I use inside my book called Street Rap. They literally did that. So someone somewhere out there wrote a book based on street rap, right? So that can be kind of scary because you have to have your business in order. Now, mind you, I'm going to sue the freaking socks off of when I find out who it is because all my stuff is copyrighted. But you gotta have your business in order. That's one. But other than that, I'm not really worried because being an author and writing is one of those things that cannot be duplicated by no computer. You just can't. We have a certain, even when I I'm a writing coach, right? So when I teach authors about this thing called flow. Like you got to be able to get inside your flow, right? And you got to find what your voice is. For example, I mentioned Eric Jerome Dickey earlier. Eric Jerome Dickey has a certain voice. Donald Goins had a certain voice. Shaun Sinclair has a certain voice. All the greats, Sister Soldier, we all have a certain voice, right? And a computer can't duplicate that voice because we can change it at any given time, right? So the cream is always going to rise to the top, number one. The cream is always going to rise to the top. And if you're a true creative, AI might can help someone do what you do, but if you continue to get better at your craft, they can't replace you. Not writers. They can't replace writers. Not real writers.
Absolutely. But and how do you think it will affect the copyright industry as far as if you allow AI to assist you in writing, or if you allow it to write your book? You know, on Amazon right now when you upload your books, it asks you, did you use AI? It wants to know where you used it, how you used it. Is that going to interfere with copyright laws?
I think it will. I think that these people, certain people, they do things to try to level the playing field because they're not good enough. I don't know. I think it's going to affect the copyright laws, but as always, there'll be balance. So here's the thing. AI isn't new. Correct.
It's not.
AI, it's not new, right? And technologies aren't new. At one point, a gun was new technology. You understand what I'm saying? So what will happen is people will adapt like everything else. So there are going to be laws that have to be, we're going to have to fight pretty much. And for those of us who don't mind fighting, we're going to be okay. And for those who want somebody to do the fighting for them, they're going to fall by the wayside, like they always have.
And it's funny that you said that AI isn't new, because autocorrect is a form of AI. Grammarly is a form of AI.
Yes, it is.
It's just that now I think it's gotten so bold to be used as recreation that people can try and duplicate almost anything, and I don't think it takes a person's writing style, but it will steal some voices if people don't pay attention. I think that it's a very dangerous thing to have, when you can't control it. You can't control it. There are no laws around it, and people are duplicating any and everything that they can duplicate. And I think that publishing companies should feel a way. And I feel that they should feel a way because this should be a wake-up call for them to tighten up. Tighten up as far as their practices. Tighten up even independence. Tighten up as far as understanding the business side of books, because books, as you said, are a business. And you have to make sure that your business is in order when you step out here. Because now people they have so many different tools, and if you don't make sure your business is in order, they're going to be able to steal your creativity and your voice. And in order to prevent that, I think there should be more people talking about the business side of books. You do have a lot of people that do, but not as many as there should be. There should be more majors talking about the business side of books. I think a lot of times people get wrapped up in wanting to be with a major and not understanding that the only thing the major is interested in is their brand. Everything else you still got to do. You still got to know the business side of books. You still got to know how to move. But I think that if they start talking about the business side of books and in educating their authors, it will dwindle down, and the industry will make it a better conversation. Because right now, a lot of people want to be able to say, how do I upload a book? How do I do this? But when you start telling them about ISBNs and this, it's like, well, can I just get it free on Amazon? It's free on Amazon, but that's Amazon's ISBN. You can't take it whatever you want. It's not yours, and so I need people to really understand that when you are in the book business, it's a business.
See, here's the thing I noticed, right? And I don't mean to sound pessimistic. I'm just realistic, right?
Mhm.
You can tell, like, I'm out here. Like, I'm telling you, I'm out here. Like, meaning I talk to a lot of authors. I talk to a lot of different people, right?
Mhm.
And I'm very, I'm in this game. I've been in this game a long time. And when I'm striving to impart wisdom to people, everyone wants the quick fix, right?
Mhm.
The same conversation you're saying, I tell people all the time, hey, man, you need to have your own ISBN. I waste my time and tell them why. And at the end of the conversation, well, I just take the free one. Well, there's nothing free in America, right? So my point is this. The cream is going to rise to the top. For those who want it, they're going to do the necessary due diligence to get it. And for everybody else, they're going to get trumped. Because tragedy is what causes people to change. So now when you see yourself getting hustled out your imprint, then you'll make the change. But by then it'll be too late. So I do agree with you that we need to educate a lot more, but more than implementation is more important than education at this point.
Absolutely. And don't get us wrong. I understand that publishing is not a cheap industry at all. There's nothing cheap about writing a book. Everything costs money. However,
Correct.
Don't be so set and using Amazon as a crutch. If
Well,
you
it's
have
really about
to,
priorities.
right, if you have to use their ISBN, just know that you should be in motion to get your own ISBN. And yes, you're going to have to take your books back down and put them back up in order to do that, but you want it to be your own. And until you can have your own, I understand. Okay, you want to use the Amazon version. Okay, I understand that, but just know that the whole goal in being independent is having your own. Everything should go back to you. And I believe even if you are signed, you should still have breadcrumbs. You should still have books that go back to you so that there is always money flowing, even when somebody else is in your pocket, because your publisher is your investor. But if you want somebody else to invest in you, you have to start investing in yourself.
Correct. And that's the biggest thing. It's all about priorities, right? Because when you buy a car and you tell the salesman, you say, look, man, I can only afford $600 a month, right? And they say, oh, come on, man, you can do $650. It's just that's only $10 more a week, right?
Mhm.
It's only 10 more. And then when we really want that car, we listen to his justification and say, well, you know what? I just want to go to Starbucks one day out of the week, and I can get that car.
Mhm.
We need to take that same approach. We need to take the same approach to investing in ourselves. Our ISBN number, 175 or 250, whatever it may be, depending on how many you get. That will save you so much more on the back end that you wouldn't even believe it. But we got to be serious about this thing. That's all. Mhm. We have to be intentional. Yeah, we got to be intentional.
Now, moving forward, what's next? I mean, you're a screenwriter, you're a producer, you're a director, you're an author, you're a publisher. You've done music. What is next for Shaun Sinclair?
I think I want to maximize this film space. I have content for days, right? Like I said, I got 18 published books of my own that I just put the first movie. I just wrapped on the first movie that's based on one of my books. So the thing about it is this, right? I think we all have to understand our why. And my why for being in this space is I like to educate our people and entertain our people. And no matter how many books I sell, as an author, I've sold over 1 million books, right? Mm-hmm. And while that's great, I'm appreciative, I understand there's a segment of our population that are never going to read a book, right? But they will watch TV or they will go to the movies. So I'm just going to do the same thing, but just in the movie space. I'm going to maximize that. Put more movies out, perfect that craft, and I'm going to become the best director of my generation. Just like I aspire to be the best author of my generation. So I'm going to put a lot more focus on that.
I love it. I love it.
It's a better trade-off.
I believe it. And listen, I know you going to do it. You already know I'm always in your corner. And I believe in everything that you do. I'm so proud of you. I thank you for always sharing your time, space, and energy with me. I thank you for always coming when I call. I appreciate you. I want you to shout out all of your social media where everybody can grab a Shaun Sinclair book and be in connection with you.
Absolutely. So my social, just go to Instagram. I'm even off the book. I'm on Facebook sparingly, but Instagram, I am Shaun Sinclair. I am, that's ShaunSinclair. I am Shaun Sinclair. And from there, you'll see all the rest of my links to my websites and whatnot. Keep it easy for the people. Oh, and don't forget, you go to Tubi and check out the setup, because check out the setup before we do something else with it. That's all I'm going to say. It's on Tubi right now.
That's the fabulous movie, y'all. Listen, when y'all watch it, y'all gonna love it. I can't wait to see Sex Mogul. I can't wait to see what you got next. I know you always cooking up something.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, I'm about to really get in this movie stage very hard. I got the right team. I have the right team with me. It's all about team, man. Oh, one of the biggest things, if I may give a little quick nugget, the biggest difference from writing books and shooting films is in the books, I can be solitary. You know, I'm a loner. I'm a popular loner. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I like to be by myself.
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah. I'm a popular loner. But in the film world, you have to have a team. You have to depend on that team. So it's a stretch for me, right? So I'm cool with that, though. That's all. That's the biggest thing is for all those authors who are looking to get into film, understand it takes a team effort. That's the biggest. That's the biggest jewel I can give. Without your team, you're nothing in the film space. You can have the best script, you can have the best camera work, you can have all that, but if you don't have a good team around you, you're done. So that's an adjustment. From the author world to the movie world, you have to have a solid team. And you have to be willing to work with others. That's very big.
Absolutely right about that. And we appreciate you for sharing your time, space, and energy, and we'll talk to you soon.
I appreciate you anytime. Look, I thank you for always supporting me, always bringing me on the platforms, always looking out, always checking in when I get ghosts. I appreciate you tremendously, man. I can't wait to talk to you again.
Absolutely.